All right, we're going there.
Do you
write
not agree?
us emails.
But I also think there's like strengthening your emotional self in making sure that you're filled up, right? Like it's not my job to make sure you're emotionally okay.
Like life is finding the rhythm.
Yes.
And
for each season has a new rhythm.
yes.
Hey, it's Brandon, and you are listening to the After the Message podcast, a weekly podcast focused on living for Jesus and like Jesus on more than Sunday. We dive into all things faith, relationships, and culture. I just want to thank you for taking the time to listen. Make sure you subscribe and take a moment to follow us on all our social channels. Now sit back and enjoy today's episode. Welcome to the After the Message podcast. We're back. Actually, I don't even know what episode this is.
7, 6, 7.
Episode 7. We're after Easter. We missed last week.
Yeah.
We apologize. But preaching 2 Good Friday services and 2 Easter services is a lot. So
there's a lot of bandwidth. There's only so much bandwidth you have.
Biggest Easter services we have ever had. I've never seen
wild.
At Hilltop Church that many people, which was really, really cool to see. But more importantly, the salvations that happened on Easter Sunday, because that was our prayer, that every Creaster this Easter would find a home at Hilltop Church and with Jesus. And so
my
word.
It happened. Yeah. I had a family that their son had been coming for a while, and he tried out Hilltop Kids for the first time, probably for the Easter eggs, because, I wouldn't do that.
Bribe them.
I literally told
We'll get to that in a second. The socialist agenda of this Easter.
That's not.
Yeah.
And so I texted afterwards, and the sister afterwards, and she said he had the time of his life. He was so excited. Yeah. I did say during kids' church, I'm like, I am bribing you with this Easter bag.
Yeah.
And they were like, I don't think one of the kids was like, bribing's not good. And I was
not
like,
in the Bible, yeah.
I will do it. Do it.
Here's my problem. And what I mean by the socialist agenda, and this is what I want to know in the comments about this, is that we are a church that I believe in the American dream. I do. I believe you work hard, you should be rewarded. I believe in all those things.
Okay.
You chose this Easter. What you chose to do is that we didn't do an Easter egg hunt, because some children last year did not get Easter eggs.
No, this is what happened.
What you did was you gave 12 to 15 eggs per kid. They all got
24.
They all got the same.
They got 24.
Because we need equality regardless of skill, talent, hard work to pick up the eggs, find the eggs. The Easter egg hunt for me, there's like mental fortitude in it. Like you have to think, where would this egg be? Where would it be hidden?
No, it wasn't that serious. The Palms has a patch of grass in front, and the Easter egg hunt that we would do is literally putting some out in the front, and then greeters had to
work for it, though. No. They had to work for it. You took the joy of knowing that they earned the Easter egg away from them.
But last year it rained, and so we had to figure out on the fly, okay, how are we going to get these kids all these eggs? They loved it. They got a little bag. They got a little marker came in the bag.
You didn't get me an Easter basket. I got nothing when I woke up. Like my whole life growing up, did you have this where your parents gave you like an Easter basket?
Yeah.
On Easter, and it was full of things. Mine was like, as you grow older, it had like CDs in there back when we had CDs,
Sure.
And then like your favorite chocolate, which was the 100-gram bar back in the day before we started eating healthy.
You have never told me that.
Oh my gosh.
You have never.
I love
Are you 85 years old?
Have you ever had a 100-gram bar?
I don't do nuts.
The nougaty, there's no nuts in it. It's like the nougaty and then like the crispy rice on the outside. There's no nuts in. Look up the 100-gram bar. Just look up what's in the 100-gram bar. It's amazing. It's amazing. What was your go-to?
Kit Kats. Twix bars.
That's true.
Okay. Chocolate, caramel, crisp rice.
Chocolate, caramel, and crisp rice. 0 nuts.
I mean, I guess I always thought there was nuts in it, but even like Butterfinger, like someone told me recently their favorite candy.
Butterfinger's trash.
It's just kind of like gross. I'm like, what's in there?
But now that we've grown, when we're like, I don't want to say mid-age, because I'm like, I want to be at least.
I think mid-age is like 50.
Yeah, because your mom and dad came to town a couple weeks ago, and your dad listens to the pod, and he was talking about, he's like, it was so sad to hear all the ways that you want to die. And I was just thinking about that, and I was like, you know what? And somebody brought up to me the other day, a family member, and they were like, they want to, no, was it you? You want to live to 100, Nat? Nat wants to live to 100. And family member, yes. But awful. I know. Have you seen a centenarian? Like,
let's not.
Like,
let's just be
I'm
cautious.
serious. Like, I think you can look healthy mid-90s. Like,
and then you get to 100 and you're just like done.
Yeah, like
Dick Van Dyke.
Like eyes start to sag. You start to like be able to see behind the eyeball type thing. You know?
No, you don't.
I'm just kidding. But
let's not be mean. Okay.
But as
the
we've
Lord
grown,
knows our days.
As we've grown, I feel like everything in my childhood was a lie. Like, right? Like, as you grow older, you realize, oh my gosh, they've been poisoning me my whole life.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about like what's in candy.
Oh,
like, it's not real chocolate. It's not real caramel and stuff like that. It's like all these things. I used to love those Cadbury eggs. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Not like the big ones, but like the crunchy ones with the like, I don't know, they're all different colors.
They're like as big as a Hershey's Kiss. They're like, yeah. They're like
amazing.
Little.
And we went to go buy some at the store this year because I was like, I just want some Cadbury eggs.
Not for me.
And for me. And it was like red number 5, yellow number 6, like all these different things. And I'm like, man, I've been eating poison my whole life. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Your crunchy is showing.
I know. We are a crunchy family. People don't like.
We try to hide it. We try to hide it, yeah.
But we are an animal-based family. We do add in a little rice with that, but like
and dessert sometimes.
Yeah. Don't judge us. We follow Dr. Paul Saladino, and no shame in our game.
Not religiously.
Not really.
Not, we don't agree.
Jesus.
We don't agree with everything, but you know what? We take information in, research it for ourselves.
Are you trying to like cover up how crunchy our family is because you don't want to be judged? No. Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
No.
Yes, you are. No. You are the typical millennial, like we're glass Tupperware, like, you know, don't even lie. Like, the only thing that you let slip in, which we fight about this, marriage moments about this, are perfect bars. Like, perfect bars.
My mom fights with me about it too.
Perfect bars have seed oils in them, a bunch of other crap, and it's terrible macros, by the way. Terrible macros.
Only 13 grams of protein. It's empty calories.
For 310 calories.
I know.
That's terrible.
I know.
And
I don't care.
And so
I don't care.
Yeah,
Tell me. It's okay. But I think it's like you need to, we talk about this a lot. You own the choices that you make. And if your choice is to be crunchy, if your choice is that you eat
hot take though.
Easter candy every day for breakfast, that's on you. No. That's on you.
Hot take with that. And like, maybe this, I don't know, we'll let the Holy Spirit guide this conversation today. The Bible does say your body is a temple. So it is not on you, you know, like, and if you know what you ought to do, the Bible says, and don't do it, it is sin for you. And so I think here's my hot take.
Okay.
My take is this: with all the information we forget this, gluttony is a sin. It is a sin, and we forget that. In America, for sure, we forget that. And so knowing those three things, I think in America, with all the information that we have about health and nutrition and how to take care of our bodies, how to have longevity and everything, it is absolutely unacceptable, especially in the body of Christ, to have people that abuse the thing that God gave them and entrusted them to steward. He gave you your body to steward. And if you're not stewarding your body well, I'm going to do the hot take of hot takes. It's sin. It's sin. It is. If you know that you should be eating healthy, and I'm not talking 80-20, y'all. 80-20. I'm not saying you have to be perfect all the time, but because
a little protein cheesecake is
protein cheesecake.
Absolutely.
You can indulge. You go on vacation. We're going to Disney next month.
I'm gorging myself.
Aaron McKenna's bakery. But if you're 80-20 is 20-80, like you're 20% healthy, 80% not, then you need to flip that, right? Because we should be stewarding well. I think about this all the time, especially when I'm doing something at the gym or running, or like when we're eating something that I'm like, even this morning, I was like, man, I have had the same breakfast for 4 months that I eat yogurt, wild blueberries, honey, and banana. And then I have 4 eggs, like every single day. And I was thinking about that. I was like, man, some days like I don't want to do it, but I know that it's good for me,
Yeah.
And I think about this. I do not want, God has a purpose and a plan for every single one of us. I don't want that purpose and plan to be cut short because of something I did, right? A decision I made.
Yeah.
And so I want to go as long and as hard as I can. And I want to have as much energy as I can for as long as I can. I think stewarding your body is one of the areas of the church that we have ignored the most that needs to be put back to the forefront. Hot take.
All right. All right. We're going there.
Do you
Write
not agree?
us emails.
Do you not agree?
No, I do. But I think it's different. Like, it's harder for me sometimes because I have had an autoimmune disease since I was a teenager. So eating this way, eating 80-20,
It's normal for you.
It's very normal for me. And there's no, like, I don't know any different. And so, like, I would say a perfect bar is probably the worst thing. And I previously have had a enormous amount of rice cakes.
I wouldn't say rice cakes are bad, though.
I don't think they're bad.
I
but
think
now they make birthday cake flavored ones. They're organic.
Yes.
And I bought a whole bag, and
those are bad.
They're not bad.
Those are bad.
They're not bad, but they would.
You literally said the phrase when you were eating them, these make my tongue tingle. So, like, something's in them. Like, it's not normal.
It's just, but I'm sensitive to everything. So, like, I have to take that with a grain of salt.
But the thing is, and this isn't a health podcast. We're not giving health advice, by the way.
Well, you basically are.
This is, if I was to give opinion, not advice, my opinion would be there's a lot of health advice out there. There's a lot, and it confuses people. And I think that's part of the problem is you have all these things. Do carnivore, do this. You need to figure out what works for your body. But I promise you this, what works for your body the best, eat the way God intended. The closer you can get to the way God originally intended food to be, the healthier you're going to be. So the more we get away from that, isn't it funny that we engineer food and then like that engineered food isn't good for us because it was engineered by us and not created by the creator who created us? Isn't that interesting? So like going back to the way things were supposed to be. And I don't need in the comments, well, yeah, we've GMO'd it and we've, done this. I get it. A fruit is not the way it used to be. Vegetables are not the way they used to be.
Yeah.
They're still going to be healthier for you than anything else. But my big thing is this: steward well what God has given you. Every area of your life, your spirit, your soul, your body, your finances. Why would God give you more to steward if you're not stewarding well what he's already given you? If you want more energy, steward well the body that he's already given you. And it doesn't have to be crazy. Go on a walk. Like, it's starting to get warm outside. If you live in the northern part of the country, it's starting to get warm outside. Go on a walk. Get some sunshine in your life. Do something active to steward your body well. And find what works for you. One thing we're going to talk about today, I want to start a series on the pod about relationships. And today I want to talk about the relationship with yourself. And I think one of the biggest things is stewarding well, like your spirit, your soul, your body. Your body is a huge, huge part of that. Mm-hmm. Your body will affect your spirit and your soul a ton. If you are tired, you have no energy, you're sleep deprived, your spirit and your soul is going to suffer immensely. So find out what you like to do. Like, you don't have to, if you like Zumba, no shame in your game. Do it. If you want to dance, do it, right?
I'd love to see you do Zumba.
I'm not doing Zumba.
I know.
I see the ladies doing aqua aerobics sometimes in the pool. Oh my
gosh.
And I just think, man, that's living. Like, I legitimately think that because these older women doing, like, I was like, what a life.
That's
to wake
amazing.
up and be like, what am I going to do today? Only thing on the docket, Zumba in the pool.
It's aqua aerobics. It's not like Zumba. It's not dance. They do lifting. They do a lot of stuff, in the pool. They have like little pool weights.
But they're doing what they enjoy it.
You have to find what you can do.
Yes, find what you can do that you enjoy. And like for us now, we found our rhythm. We used to lift 6 days a week. And then we lifted 5 days a week. Now we lift 4. 4 is like our sweet spot with that. We lift heavy 4 days a week. And then we run 3 days a week. We really enjoy those things. There's days I don't like that I have to force myself to, but I would say 90% of the time I enjoy it.
Yes. And I think it's a finding the balance or like the rhythm of it all. And I think a lot of times we start something, like even with running for me, I have never run in my whole life.
And you're killing it.
But I'm trying to. But even when I have a setback day, it's not like, okay, I'm quitting forever. It's that, okay, I just need to reconvene. I need to find what's going to work for my body and move forward. But I think a lot of times people quit before, or they'll be like, oh, that was really hard. Someone was like telling me, they have to take a few things out of their diet, and a friend back home, and they were like, it's just tough. I've been 7 days without gluten and dairy. And it's like, I've been
17 years,
I've been like 28 years, girl. No, just kidding. But like, honestly, it's just like, if you have, I keep saying that really, I'm so sorry about that.
It's all right.
I'm not a Valley girl, but.
You could be.
I could be. But we quit more often. I've noticed people quit sooner than I think. Their bodies can go longer, but your mind stops you from continuing, even whether that comes to physical stuff, eating right, sleeping, like all of it. Like the excuses that we give ourselves is, I think, what truly keeps us from moving forward in these areas.
I think it's because we have a short-term mindset. I think that we have a diet culture mindset. We're very goal-driven. I heard a doctor recently, and by doctor, he's a pastor with a doctorate, but he said recently, there's a difference between driven and led. He's like, we have a culture in America of driven people. He's like, we have driven pastors. He's like, what we need is led pastors. Yeah. He's like, I can be driven and build a church. I can build it large and all that, and I will burn myself out. Or I can be led, and it's probably going to be a slower journey, but it's going to have more longevity in it. I can be led by Jesus into that. And I think the same thing is true in fitness. It's like, we want 60-day plans. I'm going to get ripped for summer. Or you could have longevity in it, and maybe that 60 days is going to take you 6 months to get as fit as you want on the outside, but you're becoming healthy and developing a lifestyle for longevity. And I think that's the difference. And that's in general with everything. And so I want to talk about today the relationship that you have with yourself, because we talk a lot about the relationship we have with God, and you can go back and listen to other podcasts that we have about that, right? Like we talk about like creating a history with God, getting into the Bible, all those things are so important. But Psalms 139, we constantly come back to because it says you're uniquely and wonderfully made. Like God knit you together in your mother's womb. So you are unique. So there's this aspect that I want all Christians to understand, is that you are, first and foremost, your identity is you're a child of God.
Yes.
When you give your life to Jesus, you are a son or a daughter of God, 100%. That is your identity. That is the core, right? Like the Disney movie, gosh, what is that movie? With the core memories. Like, you know what I'm talking about?
Inside Out?
Inside Out.
I'm sorry.
So I was thinking about that. But so that's the core of all cores, is that you are a child of God.
Ball.
the balls.
They actually, they sell those at Magic Kingdom.
Do they?
Yeah.
But the biggest thing apart from that is figuring out, okay, but how did God uniquely make me? Be on a journey of what do I like? What don't I like? I always tell, especially single people, is that is not a journey you can take with somebody else. That is a journey you need to take by yourself. You need to know who you are. Otherwise, that person will define who you are, and you'll change your likes, your dislikes. And then guess what? Divorce is coming. Because when you changed who you were to fit that relationship, and then eventually you figured out, oh, this is not the life I wanted to live, that's when people start to think about, man, I don't know if I want to live this life anymore. And number one, as a Christian, divorce should not be an option on the table unless there is abuse or an affair involved in that situation, right? Yeah. And that's a whole nother topic that we'll dive into sometime. But I want to talk about our journey of how we got to that point where we knew ourselves. And there was aspects that we were secure in before we got married. And then there's aspects that we've really become who we are afterwards. Like, and I'm more talking about little likes and dislikes and all that stuff. But the foundation was there before we even started dating. So let's what?
I just keep thinking about the birthday cake rice cakes. Or birthday.
Why?
Because now you made me want them.
Oh my gosh.
Even though they make my tongue a little tingly.
I know. But
they're $4.99. That's a good price. Okay, sorry.
I think
I agree with this train of thought.
With
what we're doing right now.
I
okay.
appreciate that.
I appreciate
but
you.
I think it's so important to ask yourselves questions, right? Like ask yourself, like, what do I like? What don't I like? I think that starts there. I call it the limited life. We talk about this a lot. I used to just call it my core 4. But I think people might be different and they might have a little bit more than 4, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I've relabeled it because I label things in my life to
the Lord knows how much yes.
Dr. Darius Daniels says that he calls them sticky statements. And I'm like, I've always just called them one-liners. He's like, if you're a pastor and you aren't good at sticky statements, he's like, you need to get good at sticky statements. And I was like, man, but what if like you get to the point where that's how you communicate in normal conversations and it gets weird?
Yeah, it gets weird, Brandon. Because it's every day. I'm like, stop it. Or stop preaching at me.
My favorite thing is in the car when we're just talking. Then I'm like, wait,
write that down. What's wrong with you? Oh my gosh. But it's a journey. Like I think about myself in my 20s and my likes and my dislikes. They were there. It was more wet cement. I was still kind of figuring out ministry, my call, what it looked like, what even in ministry. Like I think a lot of times there's so many different aspects of ministry as a whole. It's like you have kids ministry, you have youth ministry, you have lead pastoring, you have women's ministry, men's ministry, you have all the different things. So like in Bible school, I felt like they really allowed us to try it all. And I did get to try it all. And I'm so grateful for that because I feel like it honed me in.
But let's pause there for a second. So, because we're talking about, when you talk about knowing yourself, spirit, soul, body, we've kind of touched on the body. We probably won't touch on that much more today.
Because we're not health professionals and we're not going to tell anybody what to do.
And we've kind of we've touched on the spirit a little bit in terms of talking about like, that's your core identity. You need to be in relationship with the Lord. Number one, you're never going to know who you are until you know the Lord. Never.
Absolutely.
That's why we have a society that's so insecure, that's going to this trend, to that trend, and everything, trying to figure out who they are. Because you can't know who you are until you know who created you. And
hashtag one-liner. Write that down, people.
Write that down. But I want to stop because I think it's really profound what you just said. And I don't even think you realize that you just said it. But we live in this society, in church culture, in the church world right now, that there's a one size fits all. Like if you're called to ministry, if you're called to like be a Christian in general, which, hopefully everybody hears that call at some point in their life. But
I'm just here for the worship.
We kind of put, you're a Christian, you're in this box. This is the Christian box.
Yeah.
You are called to ministry, you're in this ministry box. This is the ministry box. But really, it's really refined though. Ephesians 4:1 says, I beg you to live a life worthy of your calling, for you have been called by God. And that your is specific. And like, I loved our ministry school because they let us just like discover that. I went there thinking I was going to be a worship pastor.
I know.
And I figured out real quick, I hate this. Like, you don't have the stamina to do the practicing. No, for sure.
You would get bored.
In like youth group worship, like when I was like, man, this is awesome. Like you just show up Wednesday night, practice for 2 minutes, get on stage, girls think you're cool, like you get to ministry school though, they're talking about scales and music theory and they're playing all night, like no joke, till like midnight.
Your practices for your team that you had, it was like 6 hours.
And I remember being like, I hate this. But I think you should try things to figure out what you like, what you don't like. But when you figure out you don't like something,
get rid of it.
For real. Like limit it in your life. Like I figured out real quick, this is not the way God made me. And that's a whole nother train. But like part of the keys to your call is what you like and what you don't like. Like God's not going to be like, hey, man, you really hate doing this. You really hate working in a cubicle. I'm going to call you work in a cubicle for the rest of your life. Absolutely not. Like maybe God wired you. Maybe this is prophetic for somebody right now. Maybe God wired you. You're sitting in a cubicle being like, man, I just wish I was working with my hands all day long.
Go do it.
Trade schools pay, man.
Figure it out.
Go do, like, don't waste your life doing something you hate. But I think that I loved that aspect of it because not everybody has the same calling, even within a ministry context. Like God, we talk about this all the time. I don't have that gift of mercy. Like that's like God didn't place that on my life where it's just like my first thing, and mercy, like let's talk about hospitality. My first thought is preaching, teaching.
Yeah.
Like I love theology. I love sitting down talking with people about the Lord, evangelism. I love those things. The other aspect, that hospitality aspect, it's like, hey, let's sit down over a good meal and just sit and shoot the breeze and talk. God did not give me that. Like you know this, I am the worst small talker.
It's embarrassing. Like, I'm like, babe, oh my gosh, what are you doing right now?
I get so nervous small talking.
Oh my gosh. But sometimes it's like.
Have you ever seen me in the lobby on a Sunday?
No, I am busy. I have my own stuff to do.
My heart, I should look at my watch sometime. Like, and just.
Like your heart rate. Yeah.
Like my heart rate goes up because I'm like, man, small talk, you know?
Defining small talk to me is like, it's like those little.
Small talk for me when you don't know the person that well and you're trying to come up with things. Once I know the person, I can shoot the breeze with you all day long.
No problem.
But what I'm talking about is like meeting somebody for the first time.
And you're like, gotta love them Bears. And they're like, I'm actually a Vikings fan. You're like, ah, darn. Actually, nobody likes the Bears. I like the Bears, and I hope one day they do take it all, go to the Super Bowl. I'll go to that one. I won't. But anyway, yes, I agree. And I think there are aspects in our everyday life where maybe someone has told you time and time again. It's like when you tried cycling.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I remember looking at you being like, this is not going to go well, pal. And you don't have the like focus. You don't want to be by yourself. Like, first of all, I told the kids how like the first time, which they were like, because we were talking about the great turnaround and like Jesus came to turn our lives around. So, or no, the great U-turn on Sunday for Easter. And so I was talking about, like, they were like, share a time in your life where you got lost. And like, I don't really get lost because I'm always with you and you're always guiding me. But I talked about how the first time you rode home from your job in like downtown to West Des Moines on the bike and you got lost and like we had crap phones. You were like, you're like, I'll get there eventually. And I'm like, I don't like
west.
I'm like, I don't like that, you know.
Like, we live in West Des Moines.
I'm just going this way. And one of the kids was like, wow, he's an adult. And I was like, adults get lost too, kid. Okay. But there is this aspect of you tried it.
Yes.
I wanted you to try it.
Yeah.
But you didn't like it. So we moved on.
But that's the thing though, is no, and it's okay to try things, but it's also okay to know yourself well enough to know, not my thing. Everybody told me, because Iowa, if people don't know, if you're watching this from out of state, Iowa's a huge cycling community. Like they love to cycle, everything.
Huge.
Ragbri, all this stuff.
Big deal.
I don't get it. Like, honestly, I tried it, and it's not about being alone, because I love being alone hunting. Like,
That's
I
true.
love being alone hunting. But like, I tried it, and honestly, I was like, this is the worst. Like, I hated the spandex shorts. Like, I hated the way my butt felt on the seat. Like, I hated just everything about, like, legitimately, I see somebody riding a bike today, I feel sorry for them. Like, I do. But I love that they love it. And I love that they love it. But I'm like, man, I just don't get it. I don't get it. And we tried it, didn't work out. And like, you try things, and what we're talking about now when it's coming to, because we kind of swung towards hobbies, is that's for your soul. Like, I believe everybody, I don't care if you're single, married, have kids, empty nester, you need to have at least a hobby, an outlet that fills your tank up. Like, your spiritual life is filled up by time in the presence of God, time in his word, time with church people, like time in church. And then like, we fill up our soul with things that bring us joy, that bring us happiness, that you can shut your mind off for a little bit. Like, you know, you don't have to worry about, like, there's no expectation with it. It's just something that you enjoy. And it's different for everybody, but you got to try things. I do believe though, that you should limit the amount of hobbies. I think especially men have way too many. way too many hobbies. Limit them and put your all into one or two. For me, I got one. I bow hunt. And I have aspects of that I've added on to make me a better bow hunter. Like we run now, lifting, I would say is part of that. I wouldn't say it's a hobby. I don't want to watch YouTube videos on lifting. Don't care. Do not want to go to a lifting competition. Don't care. Like I do not want to go to the Boston Marathon or anything else and watch it or like watch like whatever. I could watch hours and hours and hours and hours of hunting content on YouTube, never get bored. I went to the Iowa Deer Classic and we went together on that Friday night. And then I went back the next day just to hang out, like just to be like, because I love it. Like, and it fills my tank up. I literally felt my soul getting happier and my emotional state getting better just walking around the Deer Classic. I didn't even buy anything, you know, just by being in the room. But I found that out because I tried things, you know?
Yes. I think there's this when you're married, and this is something for like the single people to think about, is like when you get married, I think sometimes as a married couple, you can put your like, I'm being fulfilled by my spouse. And when they don't fulfill you, or you feel like, you know, they don't follow through, or they don't like, they fail you because they will.
Yeah.
It like,
they're human.
They're human. It messes with like who you are. And I think that's why hobbies are so important, is because it's you figuring out, like running has become, I know we talk about it a lot, but like it's become something that I want to conquer. I haven't yet. I'm like, I'm working on it, you know, but like, it's something that for me, it's a personal, like I was talking to a friend yesterday and she's like, you're racing against yourself. It's not that I'm racing against all these different people in the room or when we do our half marathon, it's you're racing against yourself, seeing if you can do it, if you can get it done. And I think that's why hobbies are important. That's why our spiritual life is important, because you don't want to put that like, what, I don't even know what the word is, that like, I don't know, like, you don't want your spouse to have to feel that weight of like, make me happy, make sure I'm filled up. You know what I'm saying?
There's parts of you that I'll never be able to fulfill. Like there's parts that I wasn't meant to. Like I am, like you are a beautiful, like we are one. Like I was listening to a neuroscientist recently.
Oh, here we go. Guys, this is yesterday. We talked about this for like 2 hours.
Yes, talking about how even in friendships, your brainwaves sync. And so when you're best friends with somebody, you begin to think the same. You can finish the sentences. And I thought how much more true in a marriage when you become one, like we literally do think the same. Like we begin to like the same things and like all of that stuff. And that's why I think it's important to know yourself, right? So like there's aspects that are different. Like your hobby, like you love to read, I like to read, right? You read tons of books. Like my goal is 52 books this year. And I'm one book ahead of that.
It's amazing.
But with that, and like Dateline and stuff, we don't need to get all into that. But there's aspects that are the same, like Disney, like, right? Like at first I was like, Disney's going to be Kate's thing. And like, it's going to be, but how sad would that be if I was like, hey, why don't you go to Disney World by yourself? Like you fill yourself up, go down there for a week. Go down there for a week.
I'd be like, I don't know. Does anyone know how to get to this hotel?
But it fills our soul up. No shame in my game. I'm a Disney adult, son. Like I am.
Oh my
gosh. I love it just as much as you do. And it fills our tank up. So there's going to be things that are the same.
Yes.
But then there's going to be things that are different. Like, because we're different. You're a woman. I'm a man. There's this primal thing inside of me that I believe is in all men. I do. But I think it fleshes out differently. For me, I love bow hunting because it's like that take dominion that the Lord has given us, right? He gave Adam that command, go take dominion. And I feel that every time. Shut up, man.
Get your sword out. Get your shield out. But
I feel that every time I go out there, I love it. I love it. And it fills my tank up. I don't even need to kill anything. Like I just love being out there. Like turkey season starts next week and I cannot wait to hear that first gobble in the middle of the dark before sunrise. Like love it, right? And it fills me up, but you can't do that for me in that area. You cannot fill me up emotionally like that. It's just not going to happen. There's a part of me as a man that like you cannot fulfill that in my life. Same thing with you as a woman. I can't fulfill certain things in your life. Number one, I can never put be in the God hole in your life. Like
No.
God is the only one that can fill that space. Same thing with me. And then I think there's even emotional aspects that you have to fill yourself up with that, right? Like David talks about strengthen yourself in the Lord. Like, and he was talking about that in terms of like, you know, when he's at his worst moment, reminding himself of who God is, the promises of God, all that stuff. But I also think there's like strengthening your emotional self in making sure that you're filled up, right? Like it's not my job to make sure you're emotionally okay.
No.
It's not my responsibility.
No.
And you cannot put that on your spouse. I cannot make sure you're doing okay emotionally. I can help. Absolutely. We can talk things out and everything.
And ask the right questions.
But I still will never be able to fill you up completely in that. Maybe partially and help out with that. But there's aspects that you have to do that for yourself.
But I think
figure out what works for you.
But there is this level of if I'm going to be a healthy person, and like I go back to our pastor in Rockford would always say you have the 3 tanks, the emotional, physical, and then the soul tank.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, emotional.
Yeah. And I always thought about that, like, I don't know if it was because, I don't know. In my head, I'm like, I could see my 3 tanks, and I always knew in Bible school, like what one was like struggling, but I had to identify. And I remember my mentor would always be like, go to the sanctuary. You're having a rough day. Go to the sanctuary, pray, ask God, like, what's going on, or what do you need right now? Or maybe you just need to read some scripture over yourself, or just walk. Like our sanctuary is really big back home. And so I would just walk up and back and forth in that top area of the balcony. And I just remember so many times the Lord coming through for me and answering and being like, hey, like and knowing that like, hey, I need to take care of my emotional self.
Yeah.
I'm struggling with something in my mind, or like, hey, I need to go and have fun. Like, and I just feel like the Lord so graciously guided me in that season of life. And I think sometimes we forget that even though I'm going to enter my 40s next year, he's still going to guide.
Yeah.
And there are so many times where someone will be like, oh, I just didn't want to pray about that because I don't think God's going to answer. And I'm like, why would he not?
I think it's important what you just said of like identifying what's happening.
Yeah.
Take a moment, sit down, identify, like this is part of your relationship with yourself. Ask yourself, is this just because I'm tired and hungry right now and stressed?
Yes.
Okay, I need to eat a sandwich, get some sleep, do something fun, you know? But like, I think one of the issues that we have is the tanks is such a real analogy. Normally we're out of balance in 1 or if not 2. I think the majority of Americans, and I think the majority of the people listening to this, we live in a society right now that really focuses on you, that you are the center of your own being. And so we ignore the spiritual component. And we focus a lot on the physical component, especially we live in a fitness culture right now and everything. Yeah. And then the emotional thing is like now creeping up too. I hear the phrase a lot with especially younger people is, does this serve me?
Oh my gosh,
it's one of the grossest statements. I get what it means. I don't need comments on that. But I think the connotation of what it's going to become scares me.
Yeah.
That it's like all about serving you when it should be all about serving Christ, number one. But I think there's the aspect to put too much emphasis on you and not enough emphasis on the spiritual life and your physical, like things can get out of balance really quickly. So I think identifying like, hey, what's the problem going on right now in my life? And then figuring out, okay, is it an emotional issue? Is it a spiritual issue? Because Christians, on the other hand, I think a lot of them focus a ton on the spiritual. Like they're like, okay, I just got to do more. I just got to read my Bible more. I just got to pray more. And absolutely, there's nothing wrong with those things. We need to read our Bible daily. We need to pray daily. If you're not, that's a separate issue. You need to put those things in practice. But I think sometimes it's like every issue in a Christian's life becomes a spiritual issue where it's like, oh, it's just because I need to pray more. Oh, it's just because I need to read my Bible more. Oh, I need to fast, or I need to do this. And so all of a sudden we get into this workspace mindset. And if I work more, if I do more for God, I'll be better, when really it's about being with God and it's about accepting what's already been done for you on the cross.
Yeah.
And so there's this aspect of like, we put so much emphasis on that. Sometimes as believers, I know I do this, where I'm like, I make it a spiritual thing. If I'm stressed, oh, spiritual. If I'm like anxious, spiritual. And there might be a spiritual component to it, or it might just be I'm doing too much right now and I haven't taken a moment just to rest. It might be that on our Sabbath day, I'm still talking about work. Like it might be that I just don't let my mind shut off because I have ADHD. And like if there's a problem in our life, I have to talk about it with you ad nauseum until we figure
not
out
just a little, not just a little bit. We talk about it till I'm like, I can't. I need a break.
Yeah.
Do you need a break? I think you need a break. But there's so much. It's again, I always go back to, it's such a rhythm.
Yeah.
There's not like life is finding the rhythm.
Yes.
And
for each season has a new rhythm.
Yes. And it's different. And it's like when you become, my sister, it was like when she became a mom of 2, she was like, yeah, there's like her husband and her each can take a kid, very manageable, right? You throw a 3rd child in the mix, it's like you are now like you're the odd man out because they have more than you do. And she said, she told me, she's like, it's so different when you have 3 kids as opposed to 2. And it made me think about the other day that when you enter a new season, whether that's like a new job, new relationship, new house, new city, whatever it is, that it's finding the new rhythm with the Lord.
Yeah.
And so many times when we can't find that rhythm, then it starts to get really messy and you get mad at yourself because you're like, why can't I do this? Why is it not working out? You know, and it's like you're not sleeping good, or it's like I struggle. I'm like an insomniac.
You are.
It's real bad. It's been my whole life. My dad would be like, honey, it's 11 p.m. You need to go to bed. And I'd be like, Dad, just one more story, one more blah, blah, blah. And we would listen to Adventures in Odyssey to go to bed. And I would like literally put it on repeat. And then I'd go out and do it again. And my parents would be like, you're done now. It's actual bedtime. But I sometimes, when I'm in really stressful seasons, my mind can't shut off. So then my sleep is broken and then I get up and I don't feel good. Yeah. And then I don't feel like I can do a good job for my day. And then I'm mad at myself. But it's figuring out like how can I create a routine at night to really help me get the best sleep possible.
Yeah.
And when you do that, or when you we have a routine that we do in the mornings, and not everyone is a routine person. And I get that. It just really works for us is what I've seen.
Yeah.
But I think there is such benefit to asking the Lord, okay, what do I need in this season? What do my nights need to look like? What do my weekends need to look like? How can I give back to your church? How can I give back to your people? How can I serve in this season? How can I find the right relationships? If you don't have community, if you're by yourself 90% of the time, you're going to feel crazy.
I think it goes back to what we started talking about at the beginning with diet and exercise and all that. Everything is like making sure you have the right ingredients, making sure you have the right intake, right? Is really important. So having in your life saying, okay, routine is important. I do not know a person that is a healthy, successful person that doesn't follow a routine. Like if you don't have a routine, and people have a million excuses, man, I hear them all the time. I get it. But until you get rid of your excuses, you're going to continue to get the same result. You just are. Like, I mean, I hear like,
you can baby step into routine though.
You can, but I hear all the time, work is busy, or
you're such a
I
man.
have kids, or this, that, we have a lot going on. I get that. You are in charge of yourself. Like you are in charge of your life. You can choose to put a routine in place, and you can choose to make sure that you're allowing God to lead that routine. Ask him what needs to be put in place in this. The problem is that most of the time we're just like, we do the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. So you need to have the routine of a prayer life rhythm, in time in the word, time in prayer every single day. No joke, like every single day. And then you need to figure out a health. How are you going to steward the body well? Like whatever that looks like for you. If that's just walks, it's walks. If it's making sure you drink water every day and you're eating healthy.
And don't have an exorbitant amount of coffee.
Oh, stop it.
Like 400 milligrams of caffeine.
Whatever you can do in this
really
season,
it's not super healthy for you.
Whatever you can do in this season to be healthy, do that. Make it a routine, make it a rhythm in your life, even if it's just a walk over lunch hour, doesn't matter what it is. And then make sure that you're figuring out, how do I get refreshed? What does that look like? Adding that into your life. And maybe that's not a daily thing, because hobbies oftentimes aren't daily. Maybe it's like, hey, once or twice a week, I've added this into my life. This is a hobby that's important. And as a spouse, I want you to find the time to do those things.
Mm-hmm.
And vice versa. You want the same for me. So we make space in our schedules to be able to do that. I know I hate that word so much. Like, let my space make space for you. I'm holding space.
No, stop.
So many comments.
Stop.
But the big thing is, I think it's really important that I want you to get fulfilled emotionally. And so creating an environment that allows that to happen, and create a rhythm. Every season's different. Every season has a different rhythm. Find the rhythm that works for you. Back to the neuroscience thing. I was listening to a podcast from a neuroscientist, and she said this phrase, which was really good. She says, in the reality that we live in right now, with social media, with AI, with all the things, streaming, everything being pushed at you, you have to curate your own reality. And at first I was like I did not like that, because it was like woo-woo, new age, didn't like it. But the more she explained it, the more I understood it, because she said she didn't realize she's just talking about biblical concepts, right? Like we always come back to bad company corrupts good character, all those things. Like, you are the sum total, they found, of the 5 closest relationships in your life, all of that. But now we're finding the content you consume consumes you. Like, so you do have to curate your reality. And I was thinking about that.
That was one good liner. I mean, that was a good one liner.
When she was talking about it, I was thinking about Philippians 4. It says, now, dear brothers and sisters, one final thing. Fix your thoughts on what is true and honorable and right and pure and lovely and admirable. Think about things that are excellent and worthy of praise. Keep putting into practice all you learned and received from me, everything you heard from me and saw me doing. Then God of peace will be with you. And I was thinking about that. I was like, that's curating your reality, right? So we get a lot of flack because we're not on social media. We get a lot of flack because we don't watch the news and all that. And we know what's going on in the world. Don't get me wrong. We know what's going on.
We have people
but we don't
us.
watch Fox News every single night. We're not like, I follow Smith Wigglesworth, one of my heroes of the faith, always used to say, he would tell the story about how a traveling pastor came to his house and had a newspaper, and he knocked on Smith Wigglesworth's door. And he said, you can come inside, but you have to leave that out front. And he said, why? And he's like, I don't allow lies in my house. And I was like, get it, but that's the whole thing, is I choose to curate our reality. I didn't even realize we were doing that, but the Bible says to fix your thoughts, right? Like, so I'm choosing to fix my thoughts on the things. That's why I talk about, the limited life. I choose to limit my life to, I want to consume content about God.
Yeah.
I want to consume content about Jesus Christ. I want to consume content about bow hunting. That's what's really important to me. We curate that for our family. Same thing for you. You curate what you're reading, what you're watching. Like, you watch a ton of Disney how-to content, right? And then, like, with your books, I know I give you a hard time for them, but I really am so proud of you. You don't read Amish fiction. But I am so proud of you. Like, you really are like, I want to be a supporter of good Christian fiction. And you curate your library to do that.
Yes, I do. But again, I think for someone listening today, that it's like, this is just overwhelming. I was telling one of the girls at the beginning of the year, I said, start with 5 things. Start with 5 things that you can change right now today. You can go home and change it. And you can, one for your soul, one for your body, one for your, your spiritual life, and then a couple.
There's like a book called Atomic Habits or something where that's
I've actually never read that book.
You just live the life.
So really, maybe it's the Holy Spirit guiding. I don't know about that. But anyway, so I said, start with 5 things. And
that's good.
That's what's important, is like, it's not sitting there. Okay, I'm just going to be honest. Like,
let's talk about that real quick, though. 5 things right now. Give people an example. Spirit, soul, body. Let's do, like, I don't know, a dream and finances.
Well, I don't like the finances.
You hate the word budget.
I think it's a 4-letter word. Like, it really, I struggle. Can I just say, my mother will, I don't even know.
When we go to the grocery
I don't even know if I even told my mom this ever. Like, one time my bank account when I was in Bible school was like 74 cents. And I was like, wanted something from the store and it was 50 cents. And I was like,
You purposely overdrafted your account, didn't you?
I did not.
Okay.
But there was like, I bought whatever it was. I was a poor college student. And then literally for a week, I just would pray over my gas and pray over like I'm like, hopefully it works out, Lord. Like I never looked at my bank
We
account.
always tell people in pre-marriage counseling,
Like,
choose one person. There's always usually a spender and a saver. I'm the saver in our marriage. You're the spender.
to spend.
And so we discovered very early on that was not going to be your realm. Like that, you know.
It's just like, it's kind of like, I felt like I've never played Russian roulette, but it kind of felt like maybe I was playing Russian roulette because I'd be like, I'm going to go to the store and I'm going to see if I can get something. And then if it's there, it's there.
Okay. This was also, you are, let's clarify something.
I was like 20.
You are 39 years old this month.
I have come a long way.
So you've come a long way.
I've come a long way.
Then. But
okay,
let's talk about 5.
So,
like,
okay.
You don't have to, since you've already confessed your hatred towards that area, we don't have to, let's do 4 for you then. You know, spirit, soul, body, and like a goal dream, like of your pursuing. So like for you, it would be the half marathon coming up in January.
Great. That's that.
And you have like goals leading up to that through the Runna app. Not sponsored. Would love to be sponsored. I do this thing sometimes.
I can't.
I do this thing sometimes because I like to make fun of like the culture that we live in. And so I'll randomly like especially when
I'm mad.
When she's mad or we're working out or we're at home cooking something, I will purposely be like, all right, guys, this is what's happening right now. We're making this like on upward. And she's like, who are you talking to? I'm like, my channel. like and subscribe.
So
if you guys want to see some cooking content.
No, I'm not doing that. We make the same meals every day. So I think for myself, like body wise, okay, like I've started to run.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean like I have a good friend, Kelsey Mena, and she has 2 boys and they are like some of the most hilarious children I know. Sometimes her 6-year-old Liam, he is like, I think of myself when I'm running on the treadmill next to you. I'm like, I'm just Liam Mena right now. I'm small but mighty. I'm just going. Because he is like the Energizer Bunny. Yeah. But like, so for me, I'm like, I'm going to run. Even if it's not like you or it's not like the people around me, I'm just going to do it.
You're showing up.
I'm showing up.
Okay, that's one.
And then for health wise, it's like, okay, an easy one.
Well, that was body. So like, you want to do 2 for that or?
Yeah, sure. Like drink enough water. I think everyone should drink enough water.
Okay.
Maybe reverse osmosis. Okay. I'm doing the Bible recap this year and I'm sticking with it. Even though I've stuck with it every year moving forward, I'm going to keep going. We're trying to read it twice this year.
All right. Emotional.
Go team. Emotionally.
Dateline cannot be a part of your emotional.
I know. It's okay. I would say I've been reading more, like experimenting with different authors that in the past I've been like, I don't know if I'm going to like them, but you know what? You have to expand your horizons.
Okay.
So there you go. Running the half marathon.
At Disney.
All
right.
But do you see how easy that is? It's like one thing.
And then each one of those things has little things that you can do, right?
Yes,
for running, you break it down and be like, okay, what's the rhythm of my week for running? You were like, I don't want to overload myself 3 times a week. 1 long run, 2 short runs.
That's what I can do.
Put in place,
That's
right?
what I can do.
Same thing with the Bible recap. It's 10 minutes, some people longer depending on reading and all that. But
and if you're listening to the podcast as opposed to reading.
But again, okay, that's a small part of my day. I can put that in. Like there's little things that we can do to make sure those tanks are filling up. And then like for you, when we got married, you were not reading a ton. You read a ton as a child, but then you rediscovered that. And so I would say for people, try things. And if you're going to try a hobby, try it before you buy it, right? Like, so like, I'll use this for like cycling.
Yeah. Just real quick, let's just talk about that.
I wish I would have never bought a bike because bikes are expensive, y'all. And
the clothes for bikes.
I hated it.
Helmets.
I hated it.
The little bell.
So like try before you buy. Number 1 would be a good thing, but try something.
You can't really try out.
Oh, you can. Some friend has a bike or something like you can borrow. But like
you break it, you buy it.
I think for me, body wise, like I'm really trying to stick to animal based. And what I mean by that is fruit, meat, dairy, honey, like that stuff. Just really all natural.
Occasional rice cakes.
Occasional
not
rice
the
cakes.
birthday cake kind.
But like that's a big for me because lifting and all that was already in place. Like, do I have body goals and all that stuff? Sure. But my big thing is I want longevity. I want to be healthy for life. So that's a huge thing for me is the diet component. And then spirit wise, I'm doing Bible recap. I'm trying to get it done in 6 months. That's been my goal this year, and I'm on track to do that. And so that's in place in my life. Along with just being a pastor, I saw recently, I was reading a book where it said the average pastor prays 4 minutes a day. And it really bothered me because when you look at people like John Wesley, when you look at people like Jonathan Edwards and, these R.T. Kendall, who's become like a hero of the faith for me, there's 2 hours a day in prayer.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, I've always had the practice since ministry school of an hour in the morning, but I'm trying to add on to that. And that's not for everybody. And I don't like sharing that from the pulpit or anything because I don't want people to think that's expected. Spend some time with the Lord. I think everybody has 20 minutes to a half hour that you can give the author and the creator of your life. And so that's huge for me. Emotionally, I'm really trying to like invest into my bow hunting more. And I know that like that you're already laughing, but like I really want to shoot every single day. Like it's my
really
goal.
Important.
I'm buying a target, just throwing it out there, and I'm 20, 30 arrows a day, like to shoot, because it brings me joy. Because for me, having ADHD and like the job that I do and the intensity of like just the weight of what people walk through and pastoring people through those things, it helps me to like, you can't think of anything else when you're shooting an arrow. Like if you do, it's not going to hit the target. You have to focus everything on hitting that spot. And so it helps me.
Yeah. And because when you break arrows or go to a place where it's an arrow graveyard,
it's expensive.
It starts to get expensive.
And so that's for me. And the goal for me, yes, run Disney, but for me more than anything is I'm praying in Jesus' name. Pray with me, everybody, intercede, that I pull a Montana elk tag so that I can go out there and bring our family home to meet so we can eat all year.
Thank you for that. If it's the apocalypse, I will eat elk or venison. Yeah. If it's not the apocalypse, we'll have to talk about it.
So to close this out,
let me do mine first.
Okay.
I really want people to know, and especially our people, like it's so easy to put like 5 things in place.
Yes.
And some people I know, some of the girls at Sisterhood, they're like, I don't like doing goals. Don't think of them as goals. Think of them as like a guideline for your life. They're
lifestyle changes.
It's a lifestyle change. It's finding the rhythm. But I think it's so, so, so important that you have it. And you have those things in place because it fills your life up and it brings you joy. It brings me such joy to be like, you know what? I get to run today. Yes. Did I do a good job today? I did what I could.
I think it goes back to the limited life. And so limit the amount of things that you're changing right now.
Yes.
Like, right. But then also as you go throughout this journey, limit the things that, like, to use the Gen Z terminology, the current terminology, the things that don't serve you, cut them off, right? I would say the things that are not serving to make you who God created you to be, cut them off. That's what we should really rephrase this as. So like, don't have 17 hobbies. Have 1 to 3. Like, and put yourself into things that actually fill you up, right? And same thing with figure out what works for you fitness wise. Anything else, cut it off, right? Like what works for you in your spiritual life. And then I would say what competes with your spiritual life, cut that stuff off, right? Same thing, we'll get into relationships and all of that in future weeks and stuff. That there's some relationships that if they're not serving to make you who God created you to be, you got to limit them or cut them off altogether. And we'll get to that.
So now we're using the serving. You just said how bad it was. And now you're literally using it.
I said serving to make you who God created you to be. But
Lord of mercy.
I think, again, just to reiterate, balance is the big thing of like figuring out how do you, I'm saying balancing the tanks out. Yes, so spirit, soul, body, balancing those out and finding the right rhythm that's going to fill those things up.
Love it.
All right.
Love it.
Well, that was episode 7 of the After the Message podcast. We'll see you next week.